Good evening, everybody. Afternoon, rather. Good afternoon. How is everyone? How is everybody today? Tell me where you're from. I'm from North Carolina, right by Camp Lejeune, famous for its VA disability problems. Las Vegas, Fayetteville, North Carolina, Northern California. We got Boston in the house, Cincinnati. Man, we're spending the entire country. Kansas City, Greensboro, Winston-Salem. My neighbor from Jacksonville, North Carolina. Atlanta. Let's see, Colorado. Wow, Florida, New Jersey. We're touching just about everybody. Illinois. Utah. Bet it's snowing there. I am doing well. Let me just go ahead and answer this question from the top. I'm not currently accepting new clients. Hey, St. Lou. I hope all is well with all of you, that you're enjoying the holiday season. I know it can be rough on a lot of veterans, the holiday season. And so I encourage you, if you need it, to reach out to the VA crisis line. Reach out to somebody, a family member or a friend. If you don't have anybody else, reach out to me. But reach out to somebody and try not to bear the burden alone. So, snowing in Boston right now. Wow. I hear there's a whole lot of it too, that is slowing the postal service down. I've got presents I need to get here before Christmas. And they are saying that they might not arrive. And that is a little problematic. So go ahead and shoot your questions at me. I'm here to answer questions about your VA disability claim or VA benefits in general, the benefit side, not the health side of the matter. But I'm excited to announce on January 13th, I'll be doing a special live with the former C&P examiner and somebody who currently does Nexus letters, Miss Leah. And so I'm excited about that. She'll be answering your questions. What's the one thing you wish you could ask of a C&P examiner? And so we'll be presenting that in January. Excited about that. Good news here. I just got my updated rating of 80% from 30%. That's awesome. Congratulations. Sounds like you did it on your own. That's pretty good. Hey, Carmella, congrats on the book. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. "18 inches of snow." Wow. Wow. Y'all go ahead and throw some questions at me. Y'all have the benefit of VBMS, Veterans Benefit Management System, being down right now till 7 o'clock. So I got up to work, and I can't work because the VA system is down. They're working on it. So you probably notice eBenefits is not working. VA.gov is not working. They are working on the system. Hopefully it's updated by the time they get finished, but it's not scheduled to be back up till 7 o'clock. And so you have the benefit of having my extra time because I can't do any work. I know VA is bent on appeals, but I can't seem to get a response for my VSO either. Michigan. You might want to try to find a new VSO or find a claims agent or something like that. Make sure I didn't miss any questions. Can you explain the VA auto allowance? Does the application for the allowance constitute a compensation claim? Can I be reduced? It constitutes a claim, but not a compensation claim. That's a claim for a special benefit. And so it would not reopen your compensation claim. They're only going to look at whether you qualify for the auto allowance, which I believe you have to have loss of both hands or one hand, 1 foot, or some other traumatic injury, blindness. There's a very specific criteria because they only have a limited amount of money every year. It's not a lot of money that they put into that program. And I hardly see anybody get approved, but you can get approved if you have traumatic injuries, paraplegic, blind, deaf, need help, lost use of your feet, hands. And so it's a good benefit if you qualify for it. Are others at your office accepting new clients? I have the benefit of being the only one in my office. I'm looking to hire maybe in the next couple months. Not right now. I'm not hiring right now. But I'm the only one in my office. I'm a one-man band. So nobody's accepting new clients right now. 30 inches of snow. Wow, I can't even imagine that. I don't know when the last time we've seen snow in North Carolina on Christmas was. So I can't imagine 30 inches of snow. That's ridiculous. Hi, Carmella. About how long are the legacy appeals taking these days? Well, it really depends on what lane you chose. Did you choose to have a board hearing, or did you just choose to have it reviewed by a DRO and then the board? I see them taking about 1.5 years. It just really all depends on what stage your legacy appeal is at, and I could tell you a more specific time frame. But the VA is really trying to wrap up legacy appeals and legacy appeal hearings. They want to get rid of that inventory. And so you might see some increases or faster time frames in the next year, this fiscal year, which started October 1st for the government. They hired a lot of more people. So we'll see how that works. But yeah, legacy appeals are still going on. What's the average time for a senior review? I'm seeing 4 to 6 months. Which is what I'm saying, that you really have to weigh whether a higher level review is worth it, or you should just take a shot at the board, because waiting 6 months and you get denied at a higher level review, then you have to wait another year to get the board to review it. It's taking a lot of time. You can knock 6 months out at the board and probably get a better decision. And so you really have to weigh whether a higher level review is worth it at this point, because they're taking so long. They might catch up. They might reduce their inventory, but who knows? Do I need an attorney before or after CMP exams or after ratings? If you get denied for something, at that point, you might want to engage an attorney, an agent, or VSO. You just need a VSO at the initial level. You don't need an attorney. But at the point that something gets denied, or you want to go to the Board of Veterans Appeals or the Court of Veterans Appeals, at that point, you might want to engage an attorney. I'm going before the board. Is there a long line for an appeals in Texas? There's a long line for everybody. It depends on what your docket number is, where you are in line, how long ago you appealed, and that type of thing. Hearings are backed up tremendously, but they are doing virtual hearings now. They sent out a letter to all the veterans waiting for a travel hearing. I believe it was last month, saying that you could opt into a virtual hearing. And I would strongly advise that veterans do that, because it would speed up your claim. I have one case where a veteran has been waiting since 2013 for a hearing. And before he hired me, the month before he hired me, his hearing was scheduled, and he canceled it because he didn't have transportation to the regional office. And so we're just in a holding pattern again. That's 7 years of waiting on a hearing to decide a claim. And that is ridiculous. How long does it take to get back pay after a rating? I say 7 to 10 days. I usually say a little less than 7 days. They send it to your bank the same day they make the rating. And it's probably more like 5 days, but I say 7 to 10 days so you don't get all anxious about it and stuff like that. What form do I need to file? What form do I need to complete for the 10K life insurance? I was rated 100% in January 2020. Okay, I just was reading a letter about the insurance program. 1 second. One of my clients just signed up and they sent me a copy of the letter. Y'all have to forgive me. I get a big stack of mail. That's my iPad. From the VA every single day. Every single day that Lord makes, except days that they don't deliver. I get a huge stack of mail from the VA because everything that they make electronically, they send me a copy of it. Every letter to my clients. See, I was just looking at that like an hour ago. I guess I could Google it. Dear Miss George. Okay. Let's see. Here it goes. It's either Form 29336 or 29357. Oh no, 29336 is designation of beneficiary. And 29357 is the waiver of premiums if you're 100% and not working. Let me look up the actual application number. You can, I believe you can apply online these days. You can access your policy online. I see. You know, they give loans for cash loans for policies these days. File a claim for your benefits. Check your claim status. Sorry I'm taking so long on this question. Manage your policy benefits. Access your policy online. Okay, computer. VA life insurance. If you go to Google and you type in VA life insurance, it's like the first thing that pops up. But the form number is VA Form 294152. VA Form 294125. What did I say? VA Form 294125. I think I'm dyslexic sometimes. I see things backwards. VA Form 294125. That's the answer. I have old x-rays and MRIs from injuries that I'm service connected for. I recently asked for increase on these injuries. Is it better to get new x-ray evidence and MRI evidence, or can the VA use previous ones? They can use previous ones if the doctor hasn't seen it before. And you really don't need to send the VA imaging. They don't really like that. They like to see the radiology report. So that's the type of evidence you need. But if your injuries have increased, you might want to ask your physician to do more testing to see what's going on. That way you can get new evidence. How can I make the claims process easier for myself while going through it? The first thing is to submit all your evidence up front. when you file your claim. The second thing is to try to find a way to relax, not be so anxious about it. The third thing is to how to make the process easier is to you can check e-benefits are online, keep track of your claims, knows what's going on. When the VA sends a letter, respond within 7 days. That way you keep your claim on track. And the fourth way is to get a representative. Let them bear the burden of your claim for you so you can relax and ease your mind and know somebody is taking care of it. Can you explain the difference between doctors that write Nexus letter and a VA accredited doctor that writes Nexus letters? Well, the VA doesn't accredit doctors, they accredit attorneys. So any doctor that's licensed, any physician assistant, any nurse practitioner, any audiologist or psychologist can write a Nexus letter. They don't have to be accredited by the VA. So anybody that's claiming to be a VA accredited doctor is selling you a bill of goods. Doctors are not accredited by the VA. They might work for the VA. That could happen. I'd be a former VA examiner. I'd be a current CMP examiner. Contract CMP examiners can write Nexus letter outside of their role with the contract company. So, or they might be certified to do TBI exams or something like that. But I don't know about an accredited doctor. What should be my first move to try to get disability back? I was receiving it the first 2 years I got out, and then they stopped saying it was not service connected. It did happen in the Army. Oh, wow. There has to be a very specific reason why they severed your benefits. And did they find a clear and unmistakable error? How long has it been? There are some more questions I need on that. I need to ask you on that. Feel free to inbox me on that because that's an issue of severance. Everybody don't inbox me at once, please. Please, I ask. But that's an issue I can help with once I look up the rules of severance. It was probably improper. A lot of reductions. I say about 90% of the reductions that the VA does are improper because they don't follow process and the veteran hasn't shown material improvement. Hello, what is your turnaround time or process after forms have been emailed to you? I have a little lag time right now. And if you just sent me forms without really contacting me first, it might be after the holidays before I get to you, but that's a good question. No board hearing, waiting to be sent to the judge. If you're waiting to be sent to the judge, you're looking at about a year. If the case is active, maybe 6 months. 1989 was the last time we had snow at Christmas in Jacksonville, North Carolina, where I live. Wow. I got approved on the 2nd of November at 60% from 40% and received my letter yesterday with the new effective rate for December 1st, but it was still paid at 40%. Can you explain that for me? Did they propose to start your new pay in January? I'm not sure why it didn't start December 1st. There's either error there or some misinterpretation because it probably should have started on December 1st. I believe I'm right on that. Either way, ask them to do an audit of your account. Call the VA, ask them to do an audit of your account. How can you check to see if you are still in line for a board review? Either check va.gov or get a representative to look into it for you. My husband has been out since 1992. Is there any type of life insurance I can still apply for? He is 100% disabled. You have to apply within 2 years of getting service connected. So likely not if he's been rated 100% since 1992. It depends on when the last time they made a change in his benefits was. So you have to apply within 2 years of the last benefit change. Carmella, do you recommend Hill and Patton for VA attorney or someone else? From what I can tell, they're really good VA attorneys. They're a big law firm and they're good at what they do. I know they can take some time to resolve cases, but they are known to be good for what they do. I have met Mr. Hill personally at a NOVA conference, National Organization of Veterans Advocates, and he's a fine young man, gentleman. I have not met Patton. I don't know who that is, but from my perspective, they're a good law firm. I have not seen much of their work. I've seen some of it, but I know they do a lot of YouTube videos. They put out a book. They do a lot in the public space to bring information to veterans. So it's considered one of the best law firms for VA disability and Social Security disability. Hi, getting re-examined CMPs for my rated disabilities in the next 30 days. I had other 0% ratings. I was afraid to ask for an increase for fear of re-examining of everything. When should I ask for increase? When you're comfortable. When you're comfortable asking for an increase and you have looked at the CFR 38 CFR Code of Federal Regulations schedule for rated disabilities and made sure there's a higher level for your disability you can actually go to, then you should ask for an exam. For instance, if you are 10% for headaches, you look at 38 CFR schedule for rated disabilities and think you should be 30% or 50%. There's a higher level you can go to. Are you 0% for headaches and you feel like you should be 10%, 30%, or 50%? At that point, you put in an increase. But if you really don't know what you're doing or you're not comfortable with it, please get a representative to help you. I'm looking to add some claims. Let me take that banner down. I'm looking to add some claims to go from 90% to 100%, but I'm afraid my PTSD rating might get reduced because I'm currently employed, even though I struggle with working because the trigger is getting activated from my work. Should I also request an increase with my PTSD since I'm contemplating resigning from my current job? I would not advise unless you feel strongly that you meet the 100% criteria for PTSD, totally debilitating, totally impaired just by PTSD. I would not advise asking for a rating increase for PTSD at 70%. The only next level you can go is 100, and it needs to be really, really, really bad. Resigning from your job is different than getting fired from your job. So I suggest you might keep that at 70 and try to get something else. I haven't looked at your file, granted, but you try to get something else increased. Is Janesville fax going to stay up permanently now? They said they were shutting it down. Now it's been extended. People are nervous. What have you heard? I've heard that it's been extended indefinitely, the faxing. So you will be able to fax your claims in instead of just mailing them or direct upload. They haven't said how long, but they apparently received a lot of feedback on not being able to fax anymore. And apparently it was negative feedback. So they have changed that order where they were going to, January 1st, they were going to shut down all faxing. Mind you, you can always and still can fax to the Board of Veterans Appeals. That was just at the agency level. But that has changed. You can still fax. Nobody knows when they're going to end it. And the reason they were going to stop faxing is because they're moving to this more of artificial intelligence. That's why on the new forms that you see, the VA has put out the lay statement witness form. I keep getting Facebook messages, sorry. The lay statement witness form and the privacy act request form and other forms they just recently put out. You see a bunch of boxes. Like every specific letter has to be in a different box because they want the computers to be able to pick up and read the whatever you're sending in without the need of a human doing it. And so they really want to move to AI, artificial intelligence, and that's why they're doing that. But they got a lot of bad feedback on shutting down faxing, so they've halted that. Afternoon. Is it better to have your CMP done by a contractor such as LHI rather than the VA CMP team? If not, why? This is a good question. Really, there's no difference. It's really a neutral thing. In my personal opinion, from what I have seen, I prefer, just me, this is no general rule or anything like that. I prefer the VA to do the exam because they turn it around faster. And I can see it in the system once they've completed it. But the VA itself seems to turn exams around faster than contract companies do, because they have quality assurance departments and all these things that look after the exams, after the doctor gets done with it. But my preference is the VA. That's a personal preference. That's no hard, fast rule. And it's not saying that their VA is better than any other companies. But yeah. I need help because I'm going to the Board of Veterans Appeals. Who can I get to help me? I have a claim that's been denied, and I have my health records and shows I went to the doctor for my claim before I got out. Oh, I have a doctor calling me right now. I need help because I'm going to the Board of Veterans Appeals. I would say you need to engage a VSO, an agent, claims agent, or an attorney. An agent or attorney would gladly take your case if you're going to the board. But you should probably get help before you do, so if your appeal can be prepared correctly. The benefit of having an agent or attorney, and then sometimes VSO, I know that at least the DAV does, is that they'll write an extensive legal brief for your case. So you'll have a written argument of why the board should take a certain action, and that can really help your case. Now, if you can do that yourself, please do it. But if you need help with it, then get a representative. You can find them in your county. Your county should have a veteran service office. There are claims agents all around the nation. There are attorneys that are probably local to you, or big, small firms all over the nation. Anybody, anywhere can take your case because it's federal law. So your attorney does not have to be local. An attorney, you could be in Hawaii, and the attorney could be in Alaska, and they could still take your case. Morning, afternoon, and evening. Same to you. I went through CMP for loss of taste and smell due to service-connected nasal blockage. What's the rating percentage for loss of sensory? I don't know off the top of my head, but what I usually see is like either 0 or 10%. I don't know if that's the average, but that's just off the top of my head. I don't know what the rating schedule is for that. Let's see. I'm service connected with chest angina. My previous 2 CMP examiners, this is why I'm having an examiner come on with me in January, because I don't know what that is. My previous 2 CMP examiners asked me, had I ever suffered from heart attacks? However, my civilian cardiologist found this to be true, that I suffered from a mild heart attack multiple times, but we don't know when. Can I submit this information to change my rating or disability status? Yes, you can. You can apply for a heart attack or the residuals of a heart attack secondary to your chest angina. I'm pretty sure you can. What's the longest you've known someone to be 100% PNT? From the time they got out of service to their death? It's possible. Years and years and years. I got back from Africa deployment June 2016. I ETS from National Guard July 2017. I got diagnosed with testicular cancer in January 2018. I claimed but got denied. Can I appeal, or would I get denied if I don't have any proof it happened during deployment? You can appeal. I would get a strong representative behind you and get a good doctor who can sort of say how long your cancer has been going on, but you can definitely appeal. You always have that option. Does $500 sound about right for a Nexus letter to claim a secondary condition? Yes, that's actually pretty cheap. When you say get a representative, how do you go about that? I'm active duty, about to retire in a few months. So you should have access to a VA office on base, or VSOs that are located on base. I say base because I'm by Marine Corps base, but post, whatever your terminology for base is. Let me cut these off. Whatever your terminology for base is, that's what you should go to. But you can also find them off base. Your county should have representatives. The DAV, the Disabled American Veterans Organization, will have service representatives. Veterans of Foreign Wars, American Legion, Wounded Warrior Project, Dale K. Graham Foundation, that's recently become a VSO organization. There are tons of organizations that can help you. You just have to find them in the community if they're not located on your base. You have to seek them out. You want to look for a VSO, a Veteran Service Officer. If the letter states a payment start date of December 1st, then you want to ask for an audit of your account. There's some money missing. Can you get service-connected pre-existing flat feet if you've been out over 20 years and now having issues with heel spurs and arch pain with bunion if you get a Nexus? Yes, you can. But I've seen claims 40 years out still get service-connected. How long you've been out? Sometimes it makes a difference. Some doctors say, oh, you've been out too long. But in some cases, it's the clear connection where the veteran has been getting treatment since service and it's service connected, undeniably. So they still get service connected for it. Do you recommend writing a personal statement for each condition claimed? Yes, I do. Hi, are you working from home for the VA? I don't work for the VA. I work for the veteran. And yes, I work from home. But thinking about moving into the office space, but right now I work from home. Should I have my behavioral health counselor write a letter? Not sure what that is. My PTSD is documented in my health records. Just not sure if I should ask for a letter. I retire in a few months. If you are just getting out, you don't need a Nexus. You will get examined and they will provide a Nexus for you, especially if it's documented in your health records. So you don't need to seek Nexuses or pay anybody for Nexuses. And for your initial claim, if you get denied, that's when you go back with the Nexus letter. What life insurance policy do you get for being 100% PNT, and do you recommend it? I think the life insurance that they offer is pretty cheap. It's like a couple cents or dollars per $1,000. And they take it right off the top of your VA check, so you really don't think about it. So I think it's a good policy. When I was married, I got the policy. But that's just a personal opinion. They have like 5 different types of policies you can get. And that's about all I know about life insurance policy. It's really up to you. It's only up to $10,000 unless you're 100% and can't work. Then you can get up to $40,000. Have you seen GERD secondary to OSA as a successful claim? Yes, I have. My clinician put me on a profile for a depressive disorder. Will I be able to increase it once I get out, still in active duty and warrior transition unit? Yes. You will get an initial rating, and if you're not happy with that rating, you can put in for an increase. Hi, my VA appeal case was assigned to a judge on December 10th. Do you know how long it would take for a judge to make a decision? I would give them a couple months because it goes to a judge, then it goes back to a staff attorney, then it goes back to the judge. So it depends on if this is the second time going to the judge. And if so, you're not looking at that long, but I would still give it another couple months. I'm service connected for tinnitus. I've been going to the VA for migraines and have a diagnosis. Can I claim migraine secondary to tinnitus? How successful is that? You certainly can. I've seen it be very successful. I'm 60% disabled. Is there life insurance I could get? I was told I could get a $20,000 life insurance policy free. Is this true? I just received 60% this year. Yes. Yes. Get me a baked ziti. Ziti. Yes. All right, I had to take that call. That's my dinner call. Okay. I'm 60% disabled. I'm a real human person. People, not perfect. And people call during my lives all the time. I'm 60% disabled. Is there a life insurance policy I can get? I was told I could get $20,000 life insurance free. Is this true? I just received 60% this year. You could get $10,000 life insurance, but it's going to cost you a little bit of money every month. The VA should have sent you a letter after you got the rating decision letter that talked about life insurance and what policies you can get. If not, I would suggest you look online on the VA website for life insurance, and it will all pop up what you can get and what you're qualified for. But you certainly qualify for a $10,000 life insurance policy from the VA. My husband passed in the VA hospital on November 28th. I'm sorry to hear that. He served in Korea. He was rated 0% and was housebound with aid and attendance. VA paid for. I'll be looking for the rest of that question, Ms. Sharon. How do I build my evidence for migraines as a result of hitting my head while on rotation in Europe? It still bothers me, and I have migraine buddy to document my episodes. It sounds like you're still active duty, and so I would start going to the doctor for it while you're active duty. Get it well documented. Get how bad the migraines are, how frequently they occur, that type of thing, and get strong evidence before you get out of the military. Keep a buddy log of how often your headaches happen, and take that to the physician with you. There's an app called Migraine Buddy. It's great for keeping a log of your migraines and when they happen. Are you on Parler? I don't know what that is. I'm on Clubhouse, which just started. Do you think these new forms will take the place of VA Form 214138? That's what the VA intended them to do. So yes, I think they will eventually take the place of the statement and support a claim form, but these new forms were purposely intended to take the place of that form. That doesn't mean that you can't use 214138 anymore. You can certainly still use it, but the VA, I believe, is trying to phase that out. Can you explain what is new with the way of VA MST rating or the way reviewing MST now? Well, it's still on the president's desk. It hasn't been signed yet. But what's going to be different about it is that usually with MST, you just see it associated with PTSD now. But under the new law, if it's passed, if it's signed, you will be able to get depression MST, anxiety MST, adjustment disorder MST, anything. You can apply for any mental health condition under the MST label and get the same consideration for MST, the markers in service and things like that, to prove it instead of having it actually being your record as PTSD does. And so I think that's excellent for those who have experienced military sexual trauma. I'm certainly sorry that you went through that, but I think it's a big gap because there are certainly more mental health conditions than just PTSD. You can certainly get depressed after an MST episode. And so the fact that the law is acknowledging that is good. They are creating special teams at regional offices for people that will be specifically trained in MST claims that will handle MST claims now. And that should also be a good thing. How do I change a disability claim for exposure to environmental hazards from not service connected, served in the first Gulf War and AFG? I would really have to review your file to answer that. It's sort of difficult to make the pivot once you've associated a disability with environmental hazards, but it's not impossible. You just need new and relevant evidence and resubmit the claim as a supplemental claim. I faxed and appealed to the VA. I faxed and appealed, but the VA has no documentation and my appeal date has passed. I had my fax confirmation. How should I move forward with this appeal at this point? You need to write the VA or call the VA and point out that you have the fax confirmation that you actually sent an appeal, and the easiest way is to get a representative to look into it for you. But if you want to handle it yourself, you need to write them or call them and find out what's going on. Say you have the fax confirmation and you resubmit the appeal and ask for extension for good cause because of COVID, because of the pandemic. That's the easiest way to get your appeal period extended. If your appeal period ended after March 20th, 2020, then you can get an extension on your appeal period. So I would definitely take that route. Okay, I got lost in my comments here. Let's see. Just shout out to Karen Power. She's amazing. She won an award as an outstanding VSO from the DAV the other day. So shout out to her. Kudos to her. And if you have questions, Karen can answer them too. Try to file a claim if you in that time frame, they can help you file. Right. Hi, I was taken out of work by the VA doctors for my breathing and chest pains, and it does show I had irregular heartbeat and chest pains in my medical records while on active duty. But I have been denied on every effort to get this service connected. I was a combat engineer, demolition expert, and exposed to chemicals, or as they call it, ordnance explosives, but my breathing has gotten worse. My friend, you're probably going to need a Nexus letter. Will my migraine rating go down if the medication I'm being treated with to stop the migraine is working? Not necessarily, but you want to, in the exam, you want to talk about the effect of your migraines without the medication. That would be my suggestion. Husband, 100% PTSD. I stay at home with him, has major anxiety if alone for more than 30 minutes. I have to do everything, remind him to take shower, make meals, or he doesn't eat. I do his meds or he forgets or takes too much. We go nowhere except one time a week where he goes with his dad for coffee. Can I file for caretaker? I'm no longer working for the past 6 years and I had to quit for the health of my husband. Yes, you can apply for the caregivers program. You need to contact the social work department of the VA Health Medical Center where you're located, and they can get you straightened out. When I go for my CMP exam, should I take all my records or do they have access to this? And do they review it beforehand? They have access to it and they review it before. They should review it beforehand. Some doctors wait to interview you first and then review your records. Carmella, I was looking forward to January 3rd. I thought you were going. I am, but I believe the floodgates are going to open, so I don't know how long I'll be taking new clients. Being 100% PNT, would you run into any obstacles living in a foreign country, and if so, what? Just having to travel for medical care, if you want it covered by the VA, might be the only challenge, but otherwise I don't see you having a challenge since you're already 100% PNT. But if you want VA medical care, you might have to travel some. E-benefit shows my ratings at 70, 50, 30, 20, 10, 10, 10, 10. Okay. Does VA tend to frown upon mental health examinations that are not face-to-face? At the agency level, they do, like at the regional offices, but at the board level, they don't care. So if you get denied because of a telehealth examination, my strong suggestion is that you go to the board instead of trying to fight it at the regional office. Yeah, only adds up to 90%. Why? Because VA math is funny. They don't add numbers directly. They add it by percentage of the body that's affected. And so it's like you take the highest, then you take 40% of that, then you take 50% of that, then you take 10% of that, 10, 10, 10. And eventually you get a number. But yeah, that's why it doesn't add up to 90. Question, what's most common reason for deferred claim? Missed exams. Missed exams or missed medical opinion is what I see is the most common reason for deferred claim. And I mean missed exams in the way that that VA forgot to order exams, or somebody missed something they should have did in the beginning, not that the veteran missed the exam and had to reschedule. That the VA itself, the personnel, forgot to order an exam or medical opinion for the veteran. They made an error. Have you seen sleep apnea claimed as secondary to GERD successful? Yes. If you are 100% PNT, would you recommend filing any new claims? Ordinarily not, unless there's some benefit for you, unless you're trying to get aid in attendance, especially adapted housing, auto allowance. In the event of your death, like you have a terminal illness, you're trying to get that service connected. You're trying to get special monthly compensation. Those are some reasons that I would continue filing claims. If you believe you can get the housebound rate, you get something above 50%, you might continue filing claims, but otherwise, I would not continue to file claims. You're just going to open back up your case. And so you have to weigh that yourself. I came back from Africa deployment June 2016. I ETS from National Guard July 2017. I got diagnosed with testicular cancer January 2018, a year and a half after deployment. I claimed but got denied. I think I already answered this, but you probably need a Nexus letter and a personal statement about any pain you had or anything you experienced in June 2016. And a good doctor who could say how long your testicular cancer symptoms have been going on. Hi, thank you for all you do. You're welcome. How much evidence would a veteran need to file a secondary claim that manifested within the past 2 or 3 years? You actually don't need much evidence. The threshold for ordering an exam for a secondary claim is really, really low. You pretty much just have to claim it to get an exam, but extra evidence is always helpful in getting it granted. So to get an exam, you don't need much evidence, but to get it granted, extra evidence is always helpful. Should I appeal without knowing all the facts of your case or anything else about your case but this question? I would say yes. When I got out of the medical or dental, never touched me. They signed off on papers. I didn't realize they were supposed to actually examine me. I had several diagnoses in the military and have tried to apply for service-connected injuries and was denied, then appealed. They closed my case and I never received notice. I called to get a copy of the exam done in Charleston from 2014. What do I need to do? The VA has been claimed. The VA has been playing games for years. You need to get a representative. You can appeal on the fact that you never received constructive notice. And so, like if they sent it to the wrong address or something like that, but if you never noticed that you were never received notice that you were denied, then you have a pending claim. But if it might be that they just haven't decided your claim yet. So you really need to get somebody to look into your case who knows what they're doing. I'm 90%. Is there any education benefits I can get? I'm not sure. I don't work on the education benefit side, but in the group, there are people who know a lot about this. So I would ask the group this question. How do you think the new rulings will affect women with MST claims pending? Well, I think it will take some time for them to actually implement the law. So with claims pending, they might not feel the effect of the new law, but down the road, 6 to 12 months from now, I think that's when you will start feeling the effect. What can I file for as a spouse? My husband had a list of medical issues. None was rated. I'm lost, and what can I do now that he is deceased? You can apply for death and indemnity compensation, or survivor's pension, accrued benefits. You can apply if the cause of his death is service connected. You could put in a DIC claim, death and indemnity compensation, and try to get that connected to his service and get a monthly compensation for that. But I would suggest that you find a good representative in your area and go sit down and talk to them about survivor's benefits. Let's see, I got lost in my comments again. How often do you do these lives? We need to get you more viewers, at least once a month. At least once a month. I keep getting denied. Appeal. I'm in the Vote Rehab program right now. I started a nonprofit organization to help and assist homeless veterans. How do I communicate with the VA for grants and other resources to help our warriors? It's really something you have to seek out. They have different offices that help with things like that, like the Office of Faith-Based and Community Engagement, the Office of Strategic Partnerships, the Office of Community something. And in the new law, there's supposed to be new grants for veterans that help, organizations that help with homeless veterans. So I would take a look at that. But there's definitely resources out there. It's just that you have to do the seeking for it. Other than that, I don't know. I have a DBQ for service-connected migraine symptoms getting worse. What can I expect? I'm at 0 now. They want to know the frequency of your condition, how bad it affects you, the side of your head is on, what the symptoms are like. Are you sensitive to light, to sound? Do you have to wear sunglasses when a headache comes on? Like what is the condition? You want to simulate having a headache at the CMP exam because that's what your norm is. You usually have migraines. So, and it's getting worse. So if you have medicine, I wouldn't take it the morning of the exam. And I would go in there like I was having a migraine at the moment, because the doctor needs to see what it's like when you have a migraine. That's not acting. That is presenting a clear picture of what you go through. Most PSOs are not responding to phone calls or emails. You are correct, but because this is federal law, anybody in the nation can represent you that's accredited. And so find somebody that is taking phone calls and emails and ask them, or find somebody higher up the chain, especially if you're dealing with county government. Go through your county commissioner or something like that, but find somebody who can help you. Is it true that in order to be awarded UI, you need at least a 70% mental health rating? While if somebody has 50% mental health, 60% with something else, and other 10 to 20% that total 90%. No, you just need to be more than 60 or 70%. So you definitely qualify for IU at 90%. You just need to be more than 70%. I was just awarded IU permanent and total. If I'm permanent and total, why can't I be called back for exams for possible reduction if permanent is stated as no chance of improvement? You should not be called back for future exams if your IU is permanent and total. There's an error somewhere and you need to get a representative and get that corrected. My husband has a remand from CAVC. Congratulations. It's been with the judge for a decision for over a month. How long does it typically take for a decision when he was advanced on the docket? I would give it 3 to 4 months. Can I file undiagnosed fatigue or respiratory disorders under Gulf War presumed illness? Is it a high denial rate? I did 3 rotations in the Middle East. Yes, you can file. Yes, it's a high denial rate. That rate, Gulf War illnesses in the last year, they were denied at an 80% rate. Denied at an 80% rate. So it's not a very favorable way to approach your claim. If you really feel like you can have it, you could go after it, but undiagnosed fatigue is fatigue. And the doctor's probably going to diagnose that. So, yeah, you might want to approach that in a little bit different way. I had foot pain. My provider looked at my feet and said it's really flat, which might be the cause. Recommended inserts and braces and also physical therapy. Will I be able to claim it before I'm out? Yes, definitely. How do I get migraine service connected? To get it directly service connected, you need to have had some event in service. To get it secondary, one of your service connected disabilities need to cause your migraines. I've been waiting for 4 months. Are you ready for new? And after January 3rd, give me till after the holidays. Trying to claim diabetes secondary to OSA. What are your thoughts? It's possible. I've seen it before. That's the extent of my thoughts. Does the VA contract out all sleep studies? No, they don't. Some of them are done at VA hospitals. Have you been called back for a routine future exam? I'm not sure what the question is there. I was involved in the Gulf War, OEF, and OIF. VA denied me a claim for musculoskeletal pain, not service connected. Neck condition not service connected. What are the options for me? Appeal, appeal, appeal. I have an anxiety disorder, DBQ, from a civilian mental health doctor. I do not have evidence of this condition in my service records. What are my chances if I'm not making the condition secondary to service connection? It would be primary, and I have a buddy statement. You have a chance. I don't know if it's high, but you have a chance. You need to establish that some event happened in service, and buddy statements, family statements are the way to do that. I had a representative. Oh, I'm sorry for you. I'm sorry that you're going through that. Find a new one. I'm rated 100% not PNT. What additional evidence can I submit to become PNT? You just need to request PNT on a 526 EZ form. Request to be whatever condition is not permanent in total, the one that you keep getting examined for, you need to request that that condition be made permanent in total. How do I post a question? The same way you posted this comment. How can I find the disabilities that are associated with the Gulf War, OIF, and OEF? On the VA website, va.gov, in the search bar, type in Gulf War illnesses, and you will find it. What is RFE? Some type of claim. It's a routine future exam. It's when they call you back and every so often for an exam for a condition that's not static or permanent. I have a lung condition from back in 1961. Wow. Was given 10% in 1967, 30% in 2017. I appealed and I'm waiting on the appeal. How long should I wait? About a year. I would give it about a year. Do you have a future exam in something? You need to be static disabilities to get PNT, correct? If I received a letter and new percentage, but claims are still pending, what does that mean? It just means that the other claims needed were deferred for more development, which means they needed either to get evidence or records or something to develop that claim and finish it. May need letter from doctor stating it's permanent disability, then file for PNT. Okay. Most recent claim was submitted in October. All exams done in November. Although I'm rated for the max for PTSD at 70, the max for PTSD is 100. Somehow a claim for PTSD increase popped up in my claim, but I didn't request. So I called VA and VSS and canceled that exam. Now they've asked for a written request to remove it from the claim. Will they count this as a missed exam? No, just submit the written request to remove the claim before they well, they'll just deny the claim, but still submit a written request to withdraw the claim if you didn't request an increase. VA clinic I went to has proof I'm disabled. Why do I need another exam when they have clear evidence of it? Because the VA benefit side likes ordering exams and the contractors make a lot of money off of it. That's my theory. What is IU? Individual unemployability. My husband was denied PTSD in 2012. He is a Vietnam vet, even though stressor was granted. How can he be tested again, reopen claim? It needs new and relevant evidence. I would get a Nexus letter. Does a condition have to be documented more than once to be eligible to claim? No. It can only be documented once or 0 times and be claimed. Are you working with the PSO? If you would like me to find one, just PM me. Correct. I have an issue. I've been diagnosed with reactive airway disease through the VA from burn pit exposure from multiple deployments. I have a pulmonary test from my primary care provider as well as a pulmonary test from the VA. I went to the CMP exam on October 22nd, was prescribed an inhaler. 2 weeks later, I was notified for another appointment on 5 November with a different examiner who went in the system and read the notes from the first examiner and contradicted what the first examiner said. I can't see the rest of that question. Let me try to go find it. And what the first examiner said, I was denied my increase and given not service connected. What can I do? I feel this is not right. Appeal. Please appeal. How successful will I be connected OSA and service obesity with current sleep study and STR of in-service 37 BMI statement from my wife? I would think that you would need a Nexus letter, but you can be successful at that. Is it possible to have 2 secondary disabilities to a primary disability benefit? Yes, you can have 10 secondary disabilities to PTSD or sleep apnea or chronic back pain. It doesn't matter. My appeal was submitted over 5 years ago, still not rated. Is there a way to expedite? Also, will the pay be retroactive for 5 years? Get a representative, and yes, you'll get, if it's granted, you'll get paid back for the 5 years. My wife suffered knee pain while in the military, but did not seek treatment for fear of being stigmatized. She has been out for 14 years, and her knee pain has continuously gotten worse. Is she correct in believing too much time has elapsed to put in a claim? No, not too much time has passed. Please put in a claim. I have been on profile for over 6 months for chest pain and shortness of breath, and I have been getting seen for it with no specific diagnosis from specialists. Will I get rated for it? Yes, you can get rated for chest pain. That if you're able to see somebody off base, like at any time, urgent care or something like that, I would try to get a diagnosis off base. I really don't know how that works. Should I ask my current behavioral health providers to write statements about the severity of my condition to submit with my cousin or take to my behavioral health exam? To submit with my claim? Yes, that would be a good thing. I'm 32, 100% PNT. What are the odds I get an RFE? 0% if you're PNT. If you're PNT, you should not be getting future exams. I started my claim March 20th, 2019. I was gathering my info and it literally took me 363 days to get all of it. I went to submit my claim and the system would not allow me to submit. I tried on the 364th day and my claim was gone. It was the weekend and I could not get anyone on the phone after hours. Of course, this put me outside of the 1 year time frame for that claim. I spoke with someone on that Monday and I sent all the transcripts of me trying to log in and submit. They took everything. They took everything. They took everything and completed my claim. I received a rating of 100% TMP, but they only back paid me from the time of me talking to them that Monday. Is there anything I can do to receive back pay due to not being my fault and a system malfunction? Okay, here's my spiel. Anytime the system is not working, like right now, I try to get on and work, file claims, and the system is down till 7 o'clock. I can't work. And so if it was urgent and I need to file a claim, I would file a paper claim. You can always file a paper claim. So the VA is not going to take for an excuse that the system wasn't working, because you can always fill out a paper claim and mail it in or fax it in. But since you had that problem and you have documentation of that problem, I would ask for an extension for good cause, an extension to appeal for good cause, just like they're giving COVID extensions right now for people to appeal because they can't get to their representative. I would submit the same thing in writing, asking for an extension, file the appeal, ask for an extension. Okay, You can submit an extension because of COVID, because your appeal date ended March 20th, 2020. So you could get the COVID extension. Please submit your appeal. Is it necessary to submit Nexus letter and buddy statements for increase of already service-connected disability? No, you don't need a Nexus letter for that. I gave birth and tore very badly. Am I able to claim that injury I sustained? Yes. Is having a rated in sleep apnea and chronic sinusitis a pyramid example? I believe they combine it. Yes, I believe they combine it. It wouldn't be pyramiding. They would just combine them and give you the highest of the two ratings. You can't get rated separately for them, so it would be pyramiding. For migraines, do I need buddy statements and diarrhea pain? Yes. I separated from the military under a pregnancy profile. I received a call from my OB care at the military hospital, although I had separated from active duty. The military doctors delivered my baby via C-section at the hospital military. I suffered a lot of post-delivery conditions caused by the delivery and postpartum at the hospital. A few years later, I filed for those conditions. I was denied because I was not active duty when the event occurred. If it occurred after active duty, you can't be service connected for it. Yeah, that's a tough one. I have an appeal with the BVA under the legacy system, and I completed a CMP for that claim recently. How long is the wait for a decision? You should not have that much longer. Probably about a month or two. Is it low libido the same as female sexual arousal disorder? I got service connected for low libido, but didn't get the SMCK because they said I had no diagnosis of SAD since I'm 100%. Now, should I even worry about it? I didn't want to mess up my percentage up. It's not the same thing, but you can claim FSAD secondary to low libido. I retired 5 years ago, was recently diagnosed with an autoimmune disorder. Have 2 current SC disabilities that are 0% that are symptoms of my autoimmune disorder. Can I claim the autoimmune disorder? If so, can I file it as secondary to either of the two, or do I open a new claim? You can file it secondary. Yes, you can claim it. Yes, you can file it secondary. What is pyramiding? Pyramiding is when you try to rate multiple disabilities of the same body system at the same time. So you can't be service connected for, let's see, that's an example of pyramiding. For asthma and sleep apnea, because they're both respiratory symptoms, you can't be rated separately for them. Yet they just combine them and give you the highest rating because it's the same body system, respiratory. Is there any significant difference if a claim is primary or secondary, other than primary being able to claim secondary? So basically, what are the advantages to claiming primary as opposed to secondary? There's no difference. I was approved for 50% SSD. Thank you so much. Olive Garden delivered.
The heating instructions are on the top.
Thank you. I was approved for 50% SSD as secondary to back pain. I do not trust treatment or discuss my SSD with the doctor any further. Will I lose the benefit if I don't seek treatment for SSD? Not necessarily. Does the VA contract out all sleep tests? No. Alrighty, folks, we've been going here for about an hour, 15 minutes. That looks like all the questions I have for tonight. I have thoroughly enjoyed you all. I'm going to take this last one. So if I file FSAD secondary to the Lola bill, will it mess up my 100% PNT rating? That's what I'm wondering. I don't want to mess anything up. Probably not. There's always the chance, but in this case, I will put it very, very low, like 5%. But that's all for tonight, folks. Y'all have a wonderful holiday. Take care. And I pray the best for your new claims in the new year. Y'all have a happy holiday.